Eddie Kane is a scientist and Lala's back. Let's do this. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing in StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, coming with another wonderful episode, of course. On screen, NERDSoul here, we bring hip hop and geek together and have a wonderful time. Now, we're dealing with Freeland, the city where you got people like Tobias, Anissa, Lynn, the ASA, doing their thing, swirling around this ball of confusion in a show called Black Lightning. In this episode, I'm actually dealing with 2 episodes. Usually I do 1, but when I saw Lala coming back, I figured, they're gonna do a 2-part. And it seems like they're gonna do a 3-part, but look, man, I don't wanna wait that long. We gotta talk together, have a good time. So, before we get into everything else, let's talk about Lala. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to deal with 14 and 15. 14, Lala come back. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Jefferson Pierce just trying to grade some papers, do his thing. And we see that Lala is once again returned from the afterlife. And the thing I love about this scene is we spend a whole episode dealing with his psyche around Earl, who's dead. He feels someone else killed him. And we found out that he killed him, which is crazy. But the good thing is to see the turmoil inside of his mind, which I thought they did a good job of characterizing the new version of Lala, because he's still sort of the same, but he's so different now because he has to deal with the weight of what he's done. Usually in his life before now, he was just like, I do what I want. You know what I'm saying? I hurt who I want and I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But now with these faces and stuff being tattooed on his body, being brought back, not being able to rest, as he says in episode 15, you get to see a lot of almost reflection in his life and almost a sense of remorse there. And I think that goes a long way to build his character and showing us who he is. Next up, I want to talk about your boy Bill Duke. Now, Bill Duke is, he ain't playing up in this joint. Homie was like, look, Wendy, she gonna be trained up under ASA like I said. And the back and forth between him and Lynn is interesting because Lynn needs to realize, I don't know why Lynn is acting like, what these people do. Why are you acting surprised that they want to use people as weapons? Why is this a brand new thought or some kind of, revelation to you? And Bill Duke is just making it plain like, look, this is what we do. And this is what you here to do. This is what we hired you here to do. You wanted to be here, now you here. All right? Now you need to roll how we roll. And it just shows how deep this rabbit hole may go. Now, with that being said, we find out that not only has he been following Lynn, that he's got her under surveillance, like straight up surveillance. He got video in all the rooms. Now, I got a question about that, a plot hole question. We'll holler in a second, but I'll get back to that in a second. He's been watching her. He got a whole team setting up cameras and everything. And Bill Duke so dirty, he was like, anybody else know about this? They was like, nah. He was like, clack, 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 pow, 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 pow. You can't just be killing people that's just trying to get your knowledge on, man. That's wrong. Matter of fact, when he asked that question, if you are ever a technician person on a team doing something real sneaky, and someone comes in and be like, does anyone outside this room know? Say yes, all right? Be like, yes. Be like, you know what? Yes, and I'll go get them for you. I'm gonna go get them. I'm gonna go get, and we can all have a meeting and then run, all right? I'm just trying to help you out. Now, on the flip, when we see Wendy again, and Bill Duke is like, oh, you stood up to me, Lynn, so I'm gonna back down. She need to go to school and learn how to balance a checkbook. First thing, who's using a checkbook? But let that go. I think Bill Duke did that on purpose. He wanted to show Wendy that Lynn had power because Lynn ain't got no power. But I think he's going to manipulate Wendy through Lynn without Lynn's knowledge because Lynn is not stupid, but Lynn is sure enough naive. Now to the part that I think might be a plot hole, let me know down in the comments. We know that Jen can feel and sense different electronic things, right? Well, if she can feel and sense different electronic things, why doesn't she feel the different electronic, cameras all around the house that are brand new? Or is it just that there's so many electronics in the house, she doesn't really, it doesn't bother her, it doesn't like trip, a mental wire, I guess. Like, hey, why is there's some electrical force in here? Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because, in your house, you got tons of electronics. So, maybe she's not even looking for it, you know what I'm saying? But I thought about that. I was like, can she sense it? But, don't worry about it. Don't ask them questions. Let's just let that slide. Now, in episode 14, Lala shot Jefferson Pierce. And let me know, I'm gonna just say this real quick. Am I the only person that was like, yo, are we gonna get a little more blood than this? This homie had this little bit of blood, like this little baby blood. Now, I pray, dear Lord, please, if I get shot, just let me get a little bit of blood. Amen. Because all I'm saying is, he got shot pretty close range. That joint was like point blank, pretty much. And it was just this little baby circle of blood that came out. Now, at the same time, he could have instinctively used his power to kind of like stop the bullet before going all the way through or something like that. Because, the bullet came and he was like subconsciously, his powers, manifested and kind of like stopped the bullet. So it didn't get too much blood. But I'm feeling like should have been way more blood. Now, I did want to jump to something real quick. Speaking of Lala, speaking of Eddie Kane, is that I like this idea of having multiple villains. I really do. I truly do. You guys hear me all the time talking about, I wish that there was like a third party involved. Someone that wasn't completely on the good guy side, someone who wasn't on the bad guy side, but both the good guy and this new person hates the bad guy. So I'm really interested to see how this goes. Could this be a situation where Jen ends up teaming up with Lala or something like that? Because, Lala definitely wants Tobias dead. And Jen definitely wants Tobias dead too. We're going to talk about her after the break because Jen, she ain't listening. She ain't registering what's going on. But I like the pieces that we're setting in motion because we got Trouble in Paradise with Tobias Camp. Old girl, the doctor, she ain't feeling Cutter. And Cutter kind of crazy. I mean, it looked like maybe she just laying down the mat because she kissing them all good and wiping blood on your face. So maybe that she got them under a spell. But there's some trouble in paradise because the doctor and Cutter, they ain't vibing right now. And you got Tobias and Eddie Kane, the scientist. They seem pretty on board with killing Tobias. And then you have Black Lightning, who is trying to save the city, trying to protect his family, but also wants to take down Tobias as well. So we got a nice little mixture of tons of story threads that we can pull from for this show, and I'm loving it. Now, we got some stuff to get to in just a moment. After the break, we got tons more because dealing with both these episodes is just craziness. But first, Cure is going to help us pay them bills. Oh yeah, check the link below, hat, shirts, hoodies, all that jazz. And once you find something you like, of course, cop it. Now, let's get to, real quick, I want to touch on how this show deals with issues that we're dealing with in the real world. Because Freeland is an analog for, Atlanta, New York, LA, Flint, Ferguson, Baltimore, any of these cities that are essentially cities with heavy Black populations, and I like how they gave us a moment to show that this is a person that may not have had, power over, control over all their powers, and see how they didn't particularly present a threat, but were still shot down broad daylight, Cold Blood, and dude was yelling out that, you know, I'm not dangerous, I'm trying to help you guys, blah, 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 and it didn't seem to matter. So I do like that, and I do like the us seeing the response on the news and knowing from Jen, like, yo, Freeland about to go crazy again. Now, real quick, we've been in this thread for a second about Grace. I wanted to ask a quick question to you guys. How do you feel about Grace? Where do you think this Grace thing is going to end up? Do you think we're going to drag this out for the rest of the season until next season? Or do you think we're going to wrap this up soon? Because it's a storyline that I don't think it's important enough to keep us in limbo. Like, just let Anissa find her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that'll happen next episode and we'll wrap this up, because it's just something we have enough going on with our 3 parties now that we don't need extra stuff. Like, just get Grace back, let them be together so we don't have to worry about that no more. Because we got Tobias, his crew, he got brand new metas, all right? A whole bunch of people. He got a nice little crew now. And you got Eddie Kane with Lala, and you got Black Lightning and his family. We don't need, then you got the ASA and the Henderson, and there's a lot going on. We don't need to worry about Grace too, because Grace, she ain't really, look, just bring Grace back. All right, we ain't got time to be worrying about Grace. Anissa's head needs to be clear, son, clear. Now, with that said, I want to get into the 3 rules, definitely, to see what you think about the 3 rules. You know, of course, rule number 1, don't tell nobody. Now, this is a rule that I'm super up on. You know, I'm like, look, don't tell nobody, all right? Stop flapping your gums, all right? You're doing too much talking. You're revealing yourself to everybody. Don't tell nobody, all right? So I'm cool with number 1. Let me know what you think. Are you cool with number 1? Now, rule number 2 is don't go off alone. Now, I feel like this is a slam dunk as well. We have learned, especially from Anissa, especially now from Jen, because we're going to get into Jen in a second. We're going to talk, look, she laid out in the street like she ain't got no sense. We're going to talk about her. But this seems like another slam dunk. You done got your butt whooped multiple times going on your own. Wait for backup, all right? Wait for backup. Sounds cool? Sound cool to me? Sound cool to you? I hope it sounds cool to you. Don't be going off on your own and mess around and get hurt. Now, rule number 3, let me know. Now, don't kill. I see where he's coming from, because I guess there's a situation where, no, you should not kill in cold blood. But if you are defending yourself or someone else and it gets to that point, I don't see the purpose of just so you can have the moral high ground and this person killed like 5 people just to be like, I put him in jail. And when you could have stopped this dude from killing 5 people, just to, I guess, have your moral high ground. But let me know where you're at on that, because no, I don't think you shouldn't be hunting someone down to kill them. No. But say if you're in an exchange and they're killing people in the city, kind of like we had with the fireman, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I said fireman. I know he got a name, but I'm calling him the fireman, all right? If you're in that exchange, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's the same as killing someone in cold blood, and I don't think it should be seen as the same as killing someone in cold blood. Now, with that said, we got all that good stuff out of the way. Let me know what you think. You know, rule number 1, 2, 3, where you at with it? Let me know where you know, how you think about that, because I think for the most part, they're good. I think Jen and Anissa are tripping a little bit, but maybe, you know, maybe they just need that tension there because they just need that tension there, because at least Anissa, well, you know what? Anissa and Jen, even though they're younger, they've gone through enough to know that these rules are solid rules. They're not just some crazy rules that came out of nowhere, but slide that to the side. A thing that I love about these 2 episodes is that we find out that the legacy of Lady Eve still lives on. Eddie Kane is a scientist. He learned everything up under Lady Eve. He learned that and then, you know, then imparted that wisdom or that knowledge and used that to save Lala, I guess you could say save, and bring him back to life. So Lady Eve and what she's done is still an effect on this show, and I like it because I loved her as a character. Just got a dope actress, so she killed it. And I've always held out hope that we might see her again. Maybe we will, because we know Science Man, you know, Eddie Kane, the scientist, know how to bring people back. So maybe it's too late for her. I don't know. She did get burnt to a crisp. You know, she got crispified. But I'm just saying, maybe we'll be able to see her again. So with that said, I'm leaving you guys with 2 questions. First question, what do you think is going to take for Lynn to learn to keep her mouth shut? She all on the phone, talk about metahumans, talk about I want you to help Wendy. I keep it on the low. Like, just like you are. She even said, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this on the phone. Yeah, maybe. All right. I am trying to keep this secret. All right. You're doing a horrible job, Lynn. Right now, you're doing bad. And my second question is, what do you think it's going to take for Jen to learn to just sit down? All right. Sit down. Every time I turn around, you going around doing something and getting in trouble. Sit your butt down for 2 seconds. Let us get your suit right and sit down. You ain't hurt nobody. You Jen, you got beat up by regular street thugs, all right? Because you did too much power and you got weak and you almost got killed. Sit down. Learn how to use your powers. Go speak to Maxine Shaw. She will let you know how to get your mentals right and all that. And then after training, you can go after Tobias. But you ain't ready, all right? You ain't ready. So guys, look, holla at me. I'm gonna holla at you. Down in the comments, let's talk Black Lightning. You know I love the show. Jen getting on my nerves. Lynn, she snitching all on the phone, snitching on herself, snitching on her whole family. And Bill Duke, he's still dirty. So before I bounce, I'm going to tell you guys to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right. Check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.ThatNERDSoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt player. Don't forget to get one for them players. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that NERDSoul. That's right. There's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, Wendy is a character that I think may end up being an X factor for Black Lightning's team. Think about it. Peace.